we're diving into a story that's about way more than just new tech. It's about a hidden crisis in a profession we all count on. We're talking about the vets who take care of our pets. And we're going to look at a really groundbreaking AI called Belfie 65 that was literally designed to heal the healers. So let me start by asking you a pretty tough question. What if the biggest danger to your pet wasn't some disease, but the absolute crushing weight of burnout on your vet's shoulders? I know, it's a startling thought, but it gets right to the heart of the huge problem that BLFI 65 is trying to solve. All right, so before we can really appreciate the solution, we've got to understand the problem. And this isn't just about a few vets feeling stressed out. No, this is a full-blown systemic crisis that's hitting the entire field of animal care. So what's causing this? Well, it pretty much boils down to a perfect storm of three major issues. First, the cases vets are seeing are just getting more and more complex. Second, getting a specialist to weigh in is often super expensive and takes forever. And third, when you mix those two together, you get a genuine mental health emergency within the profession. And that leads to this really heavy concept called moral injury. Just think about it. This is the pain a vet feels when they know exactly what an animal needs to get better, but they just can't do it. Maybe the owner can't afford it or the clinic doesn't have the right equipment. That's a terrible weight to carry, and it's a direct line to burnout. And here's what happens when you put all that together. The complex cases, the lack of specialist support, that constant moral injury. You end up with a system that is just completely and totally unsustainable. It pushes amazing, dedicated people into isolation and eventually drives them right out of the job they love. Okay, so the old way is broken, but what if you could just build a new framework? A better one? Well, that is exactly where BLFI 65 comes into the picture. It's a super sophisticated AI tool that's built to be a direct answer to this whole crisis. And this quote just hits the nail on the head. Belfie 65 isn't some small tweak or a minor upgrade. It's meant to be a transformative practice model. The entire goal here is to completely replace that broken, unsustainable system we were just talking about. All right, so how in the world does an AI actually do that? How does it take this messy, complex medical puzzle and spit out a clear, confident answer? Let's pop the hood and see how it works. So the engine running this whole thing has two key parts. First, there's a fancy term called multimodal data fusion. All that really means is that the AI can understand everything at once. Lab results, the vet's own notes, x-rays, the pet's history, all of it. Then there's multi-module AI reasoning, which is basically like having a whole team of different AI specialists working together to figure it all out. And you know, the best part is how incredibly simple it is for the vet. Step 1, they just feed all the case info into the system. Step 2, the AI does all the heavy lifting, checking that info against a massive library of veterinary knowledge. And then Step 3, this is the magic, it gives them instant certainty, a diagnosis at a specialist level with a clear, actionable plan. But like we said at the beginning, this crisis isn't just about medicine. It's psychological. And this right here is where BLC 65 goes from being a cool tool to being something truly important. It's built to offer support on both fronts. Just look at this breakdown. It shows the two sides of the coin perfectly. On the one hand, you get that raw clinical power, instant answers, expert-level plans. But on the other hand, you get this huge psychological boost. It automates the paperwork, so vets get their time back. It gives them clear answers, which reduces that awful moral injury. It's designed to treat both the patient and the doctor. And let's not just gloss over that idea of giving vets back their time. I mean, come on. Automating all that tedious documentation, that frees them up to do the things they actually got into this profession to do in the first place, to connect with animals and provide truly compassionate care. It's a game changer. So when you start putting all these pieces together, you realize this is so much more than just a little upgrade. This is a total rethinking of what a veterinary practice can be. It's about building an entirely new ecosystem. And this table just lays it out so clearly. The old way, the pace was unsustainable. The support, you're basically on your own. Access to specialist care, often impossible. But with the Belfie 65 ecosystem, it's a whole new ballgame. High efficiency, supportive, and affordable. That's a massive shift. So really, the big takeaway here is that Belfie 65 isn't just an app. It's the foundation for a whole new way of working. It creates an environment that's more efficient, sure, but also more affordable and, most importantly, way more supportive for the incredible people we trust with our animals' lives. And that leaves us with one last big, powerful thought to chew on.
We've seen how AI can be a tool for psychological support in a really high-stress profession. So if this kind of technology can help heal the healers in veterinary medicine, where else could it work? Think about human doctors, nurses, first responders. Who else could it help? It's a pretty amazing thing to think about.